great part about organization is that it impacts all aspects of your life and gives you a tremendous amount of freedom, both personally and professionally. Some ideas that I've come across in, books and articles that I've read include some obvious ideas around saving time, money, space, and energy, which of course we're all looking for more of.
Right.
Perhaps some less obvious ones are fostering peace in your relationships, creating sanctuary, reducing guilt. That's something I really gravitate towards. We don't need more things to feel guilty about. And so just, we need to go ahead and tackle this. I also really like the next idea about allowing me to project a more positive identity to myself in the world. This is incredibly important in this professional sphere. And I don't think a lot of people understand that kind of level of connectivity. It's most especially important given all of the digital mediums that we're using to communicate with people. So perhaps some of the tricks that we used previously, no longer work. And so having that sense of control and space and preparedness allows you to project that positive image. And the final one I'll share is relieving me from the fear of other people's judgment. This might not be so impactful in a home office space because you don't tend to share that with other people. But nevertheless, if you ever had the experience where you want to invite someone into your home and yet you feel embarrassed by that, or you rush to blur your background because you're embarrassed by what's behind you, those are signals that you are probably would benefit from organization and kind of be freed from that fear of other people's expectations.
Yeah, I can definitely
How do
see
we
that.
encourage and offer critique? We offer some positive encouragement. People put their heart and soul in their work or whatever they're delivering. So letting them know that it was appreciated, some great things that they've done. It's a fabulous place to start. And then leaning in with some options to offer some suggestions. So I tend to ask permission. And you can do that in person real easy. Do you want any feedback or are you good to go? What's your timing to get this out there? And often people with that kind of intent will lean in and say, "Oh, sure, what do you got for me?" So with the positive intent, asking permission, offering help in different ways, people like it to hear it or to see it, and people like to hear where your experience is in your shoes. So from where I'm coming or in my past experience, I have, and then they can relate and decide if it applies to them or not, as opposed to saying this isn't right. There's better ways to do it. Come at it from your place of strength, and people will often lean in and appreciate that and look for other ways that they can improve based on that insight.
Create this disruption mindset to be thinking out of the norm, outside of the box. It's really hard. And the first part is have a strategy that's focused not on your customers of today, but the customers of the future. Because if you can anticipate where your customers are going to go and then make the changes and take the actions today to get to that future, but at the same time as your customers do, you'll be ahead of everyone else. Because you know what everyone else is doing? They're trying to figure out what your customers are doing today.
Right.
So you have to figure out and know what your customers are doing today and also in the future. So that's such your strategy.
What we found is by operating sustainably, by providing your customers a sustainable shopping experience, you can really drive customer loyalty and love. And that has great results, business results. It's actually good for business. And that can lead to better cart conversion. That can be, more customers wanting to purchase with you while they're on site. It could mean more customers come back and repurchase with you. So your retention is much higher for those customers because you're developing a deep loyalty and love with those customers, right? If you align your mission with your consumer, there's magic that happens. So I like to say that we're kind of in this golden era between sustainability being a competitive advantage to it actually becoming an absolutely must have. And so we're right in the middle of that transition. So it's kind of a golden age and an opportunity to really put forth sustainability into your solution.
And it was a lot of those types of modular sofa systems that had curvature to it. So not something that's just that rectilinear L shape, boxes, double backs, anything like that. It was something that allowed you to specify product around pillars in funky buildings, in spaces that typical furniture wouldn't fit, almost millwork type pieces, except commercial grade furniture. And that was fun to see for the designers because I mean, we're also, we're out in the Bay Area in San Francisco. You're never going to get a building that is just
Yeah.
straight as is, cookie cutter, fits a normal sofa in it. So you kind of have these little pieces that do a little turn in them or have the option of doing that. And that was what I saw a lot of.
So many times when people are getting different healthcare treatments, it becomes this anxiety ridden experience. And we actually looked at that approach when we were designing a string of urgent cares. And we said, why, when you're getting a massage or a facial, is that a luxurious, enjoyable experience? And when you're getting stitches or have to go see a doctor, it becomes this nervous experience. And we really took aspects from a spa and brought it into the urgent cares. And we were working with a new brand. We designed about 18 locations. And I remember when we had the open house for the first location, city officials came and I heard one of them say to the other one, "Oh, wow, this feels like a spa."
Wow.
And walked over to him and I said, "Does someone pay you to say that?" Because that was our vision. And that's what we wanted. And there's so many different healthcare spaces that we're involved in. And we really look at each one and we look at what the mission of the company is that we're working with and the care that they'll be delivering in that space and how we can best accommodate the people who will be using it.
Being active on LinkedIn gives you a huge advantage when you're younger. It is, first of all, it's a great place to learn. You can pay attention to all the top thought leaders in your industry. You can read what people who are in your role and have been in your role for years are sharing. You can learn faster through LinkedIn than you can any other way. And so that gives you a big advantage. The second thing that you can do is you can pay attention to the people who are higher up in your company. Now, that's something a lot of people don't realize, but senior executives are being asked to do more and more on LinkedIn, and they love it when people pay attention to them.
Right.
A lot of them are relatively new to social media, and so they might have a lot of people who follow them, but not who like their posts and interact and make meaningful comments. And when you do that on a consistent basis, first of all, it makes them feel good because they can see that you're paying attention to them and that you're thinking about what they say. And that gives you the opportunity to have access to somebody who is, maybe even 3 or 4 levels above you in the organization. So that can be a real career boost.
It's okay to take a break because when we focus so hard and so intensely on one topic or one specific situation, that it can actually work against us and make us unsuccessful. So giving ourselves and our brain that downtime, that rest, actually helps us to succeed. Because our brain is always working. Even when we're not intentionally working on a specific subject, it's always working. And so when we're not forcing it or when we're taking a break is when oftentimes, maybe you've experienced this, you've noticed, oh, I got that idea. I understand that problem, or now I know what to do. It's because we're giving our brain time to flourish in different ways with involuntary thoughts. So taking a break actually moves us forward.
Yeah.